I'll give you another tidbit of information. Bishop, you were talking about our Asian friends that come into our community, and they own the industry, by the way. They own the land, they own the places, and if they don't own it, they're renting it. They own it. Do you know that the entire hair care industry is primarily subsidized by black women? Perms, touch-ups, pieces, weaves, wigs. Maybe one day we'll all come together and take a stand and say, unless we can have an ownership stake in the industry, we're just going to go all natural. We're feeding the wealth of an entire culture and generation that does not care about reinvesting in our community. I mean, it might be a sacrifice, but you can't be first without a sacrifice. You can't compromise. Sometimes you got to stand, you got to do it, and you got to do it. I mean, look at the system. The system is, as long as we keep our brothers and sisters, because, you know, brothers got these S-curls too, so I ain't, you know, brother know how to get them some Bantu, but they used to call it a comb. A pompadour. Yeah, a pompadour. I haven't heard that in a minute. We feed into a system of self-hatred because we don't have love first for who we are and the image that we were created in. Now, once you are settled in whose image you are in and you want to do that, then so be it, do it. But there's got to be a time in your life when you say, I'm just fine being me. How much money in becoming a better you could we all save if we didn't spend as much money on our external appearance and we spent more time on our internal appearance? So rather than becoming a facade of better, because I have so many pairs of shoes, and I have different pair of stockings for every, you know, fifth Sunday I wear this color, fourth Sunday this color, third color this, and I got a different suit, I get a different shirt, and we find out we end up with 75 shirts. You can only wear one at a time. And it's all relative. How can you have more clothes, but you don't own a piece of land? Now, once you get your land, once you get your house, once you get all that stuff in order, knock yourself out. Like I say, take all the money that you're making as you become better, give God His. Save 10. Invest 10. Pay your bills. Spend the rest like crazy. Because you've taken your priorities, you've placed your priorities up front. You've tithed 10. Now you save 10, you tithe into yourself. And then you're investing 10, and then you pay your bills. That's the position you want to reprioritize. You don't want to pay all of your bills, and then you got to believe God to give Him what's His. Or you can't save and break the curse of infidelity off your life by not living a legacy for your children's children. $10 a month, $20 a month, $30 a month, whatever you can do, you should be paying it forward. That's what better is. Better is paying. Better is knowing that although I couldn't achieve everything I wanted to achieve, then I want my children and my grandchildren to achieve what they can achieve. And when they achieve it, I'm not going to automatically go ask for a Land Rover. I don't want to live vicariously through my children's success, because then I'm now robbing them of their ability to pay it forward. Sometimes better is us helping future generations to move and to pay it forward. The next encouraging word here is enlist. What do I mean by enlist? Developing new relationships. Every man or woman needs a team. No matter what your vision is, you're going to need help in bringing it to fruition. You can't do it by yourself. If it's something that God has ordained, I know you can't do it by yourself, because it requires people, it requires resources, and it requires input and knowledge and understanding. And relationships are very, very key. But before you can enlist the proper relationships, you first have to have the primary relationship. And the primary relationship with Christ is key. Your relationship with him defines everything and everybody that you attract to you. That's definitive and who enters and leaves your life. And then once you have a relationship with yourself, once you know who you are, not who you see in the mirror, but who you see beyond the mirror. Who are you really? Who are you at 2 a.m. in the morning when there's no one around? Who are you in the late night when tears are coming because of your loneliness and because of the things that you're dealing with? When the real you shows up? Is that the real you on Jerry Springer? Or is it the real you in the sanctuary? Who are you? That's the relationship. You got to know who you are first. But you can't know who you are until you know who God is. Enlisting new relationships. The success or failure of anything and everything you do in life is totally dependent on who you do or do not know. I don't care how smart you are, how bright you are, what you want to do, how gifted you are, how anointed you are. If you don't have relationships, you'll be a failure. Amen. God uses people to advance you. The success or failure of your career, your educational pursuits, your business, your marriage, your relationships, your friendships, everything is totally dependent. Say totally. Totally dependent on who you do or do not know. Amen. So if you are spinning in circles year after year, doing the same thing year and year and year, it's called insanity. Sigmund Freud said, to want to accomplish a new thing, doing it the old way or the same way is the definition of insanity. So that means if you want to do something new and move from another level and another dimension of life, then it's very, very critical for you to have the right relationships. And let me tell you how you know it's time for you to move to another level. I've experienced this myself, or another dimension per se. Usually when it's time for you to move to another level and another dimension, in what you're doing, you'll see that degressing and digressing. It's almost like God is humbling you. He's bringing you down. There's something that you're going through in your respective life. And you're going to lose people because life is really not like a ladder, meaning as I go up, there's people along the way. Life is really multidimensional. And so the same people that were here as I was coming down here. Now this is humbling because I'm used to being at the top of my game. I'm on top. But success breeds complacency. Success breeds complacency. There's not a lot of innovation once people become ultra successful unless they bring innovative people around them, because they're not challenged anymore because they've really achieved so much in life that they can't even imagine. Now their ego has got in the way and they can't see that God has fathomed so much more than that they've achieved. Amen. And so many times there's a situation that will come that will humble you. And see, if you're always the top person in your circle, you're in the wrong circle. It's like they say, if you're the cutest chick in your clique, you're in the wrong clique. And as you come down, you'll see those people drop off.